Okay, let's see if this is going to be the game with which we are going to finally cross the 2400 rating. Let's focus on the game. Sicilian defense. Okay, I like playing this queen to d3 variation because there's a lot of tricks here, a lot of unexpected stuff. And that is one of them. If he takes on c3, I take with the queen, and if he takes here, just take here. Then queen to e7, queen takes g7. So that's very good, he doesn't fall for it. So let's see. I think the normal plan here would be to just castle shot and advance this pawn. Okay. I don't want to play f4 because he just takes on e4. And I have to take with the knight and he can exchange queens. So I don't want the queen exchange here. Let's see if we can do this. And then maybe play like this. Yeah, the bishop needs to be developed. Yeah, the pawns can move, that is true. Okay, simply attacking e5. And I can then finally push f4 maybe. Okay. That's strange. But not necessarily bad. Okay, we need to exchange here. And now let's do this. I just take with the queen and claim he has an isolated pawn. If he pushes, then he's probably fine, but have a nasty f5 move in that case, trapping the bishop. So let's see. I think he has to take. He doesn't have much choice. Maybe he can play d4, mixing it up. Yeah. But in that case, how good is this? How good is this? I'm bringing the knight closer to his king, so I don't know about that. Okay, consolidating somehow. But if he takes with the pawn, I think I should be okay here, more than okay actually. Because this bishop is very strong. It's definitely better than his bishop. And this is a weakness. So knight here doesn't work. I just take on e5. And now we can simply pile up here against this problematic file. Yep, that's normal. Take and just claim that this is a permanent weakness unless he decides to keep the knight there forever. I was thinking about this intermediate move and then somehow discovery and then a check potentially on h7, but I didn't see how that actually works. So I gave up this idea and decided to go for the exchange of rooks. Maybe that will work at a later stage, but not now. As long as this pawn remains blockaded, I have nothing to worry about. And then I also have this queenside pawn majority. But in order for that to work, I think queens need to be exchanged. So let's see how this goes. I like his time management here. He is not falling neither too much behind, neither too much ahead. So in any case, he is just waiting in this position. Can I do the same? Yeah, let's do the same. Right, really? Did you actually not see that? I don't understand. Did his nerves just didn't hold? I don't know what happened here. Let's see, we're just up a clear pawn. And maybe with a better minor piece, with this being under attack as well. He wants to... So if I exchange queens, I think I'm just winning here, right? I think I should be just winning here if we exchange queens. So let's try it. He doesn't have any checks. Problem is, this pawn is actually weak. I didn't realize that before I said that, but anyway. It has a very big winning potential, this position. Very, very big winning potential, I think. Probably resignable, actually. How do we do this, though? There isn't much time left. Do I approach with the king? What exactly do I do? I'm not entirely certain. I'm really not certain. Maybe just pushing these pawns, claiming he's absolutely no counterplay, like the dark squares are perfectly safe. Unless he decides to pile up on this pawn somehow, maybe then he does have the time. But if, yeah, he resigns. Wow, that's it, guys. That is it. That is it. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? So many years trying to get 2400 and it finally happens. Okay, let's look at the final game. It's the Lowenthal Sicilian. And as I said during the game, I really like playing with this queen to d3 move because I'm going to show you the variation I analyzed quickly during the game. So for example, after this takes, knight takes, queen e7, you take here, and now he may think he has a discovery somehow on the king, but there's no good discovery. There literally is no good discovery. Like for example, this bishop e3, let's say rook to g8, queen h6, and you are much better here because of his terrible pawn structure and because of the fact you can castle very quickly queenside. So this is completely winning for white already. Now let's look at the other variation with bishop to c5. Here you have queen to g3, and if they castle, you have bishop h6. In most cases, I would say 99% of the cases, they play knight to h5. That is actually not good because of this move. If he takes, you take on c5, and what is his king doing? His knight is also under attack, so he needs to waste the tempo to move the knight. So this is completely crushing for white as well. The only way to survive this as black is by taking on f2. Then you take with the king. He takes the bishop. Now, do not make the mistake of taking the knight because he has this very unpleasant attack. Yeah, and you're not better here. In fact, you might be even worse. So instead of this, instead of taking the knight, you can play rook to d1 or bishop to d3, and after bishop to d3, you can just exchange the queens, play rook to d1, and now he cannot easily develop this bishop. If he plays bishop to b7 with bishop e2, you're attacking both the knight and the pawn. So essentially he cannot move this bishop. He can do this, then you play b3, and if he plays knight to f4, you have bishop to c4, and once again he does have some development issues. Let's say knight g6, rook d6. So you have a very active position here, and you're much better. So these are some of the tricks and traps. There's way more, but obviously there's no time to go into this now. So let's look at the actual game. I'm quite happy how the game ended, and I'll tell you why. It was mainly for psychological reasons that he lost this game. And here we're just aiming for a quick f4, takes. Computer might give this as a bit better for black. That's fine. The number of time you will get this position versus the positions that you will be winning because of the multiple tricks and traps is incomparable. You will simply end up winning much more games because of how unfamiliar the black player is with this position. So here eventually you have queen to g3 as well, and while he may have a strong center, this queen and this pawn advance are always going to be a problem from a practical perspective. Here, okay, as I thought during the game, this is perfectly fine for white. And he exchanges rooks, and here we come to the crucial moment in the game. I realize he's waiting. He's just waiting for me to reveal my hand, so to speak. But I am doing the same. Even though I have something like this, which the computer gives us is very good, potentially winning even. Let's say he wants to do this, then the pawn is hanging. Yeah. So I decided to wait as well and see what he wants to do. And it is here he made this mistake. I don't know what he was thinking here. I think that it was simply a question of his nerves not holding here. He should have stayed put and simply play bishop to d5. And he has an okay game here. Yeah, he's not worse by any means. Instead, he made this blunder inexplicably, and I am simply winning here. It is fairly straightforward win. Thank you for watching. This concludes this series. Whether I am going to try and attempt to reach a 2500 rating is another matter. Maybe I will at some further stage, but for now I want to focus on developing the channel and sharing what I learned on my journey to the 2400 rating. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.